It's Dr. Yvette Maureen here, and in line with manifesting healthy, purpose-driven, God-focused relationships, I invite you to get into my new series. I had the pleasure of sitting down with 4 dynamic couples for Season 1 of the Prayer Life Devotional Expressions series. You all are here for the Prayer Life Devotional Expressions series. Before we get started, tell me about how you all met years ago.
Okay, I guess I'll start. We met at church years ago. I just remember standing, waiting for the crowd to kind of dissipate at the exit, and I saw out of the corner of my eye this beautiful young lady walking up behind me, and
she
came over,
okay.
And surprisingly, she tapped me on my shoulder and introduced herself to me. At that time, she had cooking videos. She had this appetizer, entree, dessert video that she was promoting, and she wanted to give me a demonstration. So I said, sure, why not? I gave her my card, and we set a date, and we haven't looked back.
So you said she's a church-going woman?
Yes.
And she can cook?
Yes.
She's a wife. Or at least it started the conversation for you all to get together.
Yes, and that's a big moment for us, because for me, God was really saying that is your husband, right? But of course, a woman can't say that to a man that he doesn't even know your name, right? And and it was also a big thing for me to tap him and go to him first. Could I do that in a normal situation? Absolutely, right? But to me, because I knew that tap meant something special, the whole body and spirit was just going through something, because God had said, I want you to tap this guy. Yeah. I had been praying for my husband for quite some time. Yeah. And the prayer wasn't, God, send me the husband. The prayer was, God, fix me, change me, get me right for the man that you want to have into my life. So it wasn't a checklist for what a man needed to be, but it was my own checklist. Cleanse me, get my spirit right, so that I can attract the person you want for me.
I think that's really important, because we might have our list of non-negotiables or what we're praying for, but in the middle of that, God can pause us and say, yeah, you're praying for what you want, but are you what someone else will want?
Exactly.
Have you set yourself aside to be the wife that someone else or your husband will desire?
Yes, and I wanted to wash away anything that I thought was right, anything that I thought I needed to be, anything that my past had taught me. Yeah. I just wanted everything to become new and fresh from God. So I couldn't tell God how I wanted to be. I couldn't tell God how my husband wanted me to be. Yeah. If I believe that God knows all the answers, then I'm asking him to show me. And so my prayer was just that simple.
Did you pray about how you wanted to be loved at all?
No, I did not, because prior relationships, I never really had a problem with how I wanted to be loved. It was just, I knew that I wanted to be right for my husband. Okay. It didn't matter. I really wanted to be clean in my thought process, and I wanted to be pure. And I didn't want to mess up me. Sometimes we can mess our own destiny up, and I didn't want that to happen. So I was smart enough to say, you're not going to trip yourself up. You're going to be vulnerable to God. And if he wants you to think a certain way, if he wants you to add standards to your paper, he will tell you.
Okay, so you were like, cleanse me, clean me,
yes,
so that I am ready when it's time.
Exactly.
So since you didn't pray about or really think about how you wanted to be loved, because you're saying your experiences with being loved were fine.
Yes.
How does Jonathan love you now?
Jonathan loves me exactly how I needed to be loved. So one of the things he does is he will touch me. His hand touch is so pure, right? When I even look at his hands, I think masculine. I think honor, boldness, caressing. So Jonathan, we could be sleeping at 2 a.m. in the morning, and he will touch my hip. His feet will touch my feet. He will caress my hair. And that's the world to me. Something so simple. He also, I am not into fashion, pretty much. Jonathan likes to buy me purses. He likes to buy me shoes. He may have picked out this dress. So, and he will do that. I trust his opinion. So we'll go to the mall, and I was like, babe, just find something for me. So a lot of times when people see dresses on me, they think that is my style, but I'm just a kind of t-shirt type of person. I know you didn't know, right?
No, well, no, I'm the same way. People see me glammed up, and I love flip-flops and like, let me have my arms out, and I'm good. I'm from Texas, so that's kind of how we dress.
And the other way he loves is through his eyes. So my husband, he is very passionate. He loves me with his heart. So I know when he looks at me a certain way that he is in a vulnerable state, and I need to feel exactly what that is. He may not say anything, but I know his eyes change, his whole posture change, and he's ready to receive, and he's ready to just, he's naked.
Yeah. So through Jonathan's touch, through his eyes, and I'm going to say his ability to, I'm going to say gifts, because if he's dressing you and finding like the perfect dress like you have on today, he's probably getting you what he wants to see you in, so that he could reach out and touch.
Yes.
How does Antoinette love Jonathan?
She loves me by just taking care of me. She loves to touch me as well. She loves to pamper me. She loves to, cook. That's how she won me over, with her cooking. So she loves to cook. Loves to, we don't go out a whole lot. Even during the pandemic, prior to the pandemic, we eat at home mostly. But we go out, at least once a week. But she cooked at least 4 or 5 days a week. So it's way to
and
my
I
heart.
didn't know how to cook always. So go ahead.
Okay, so you learned. I got this man.
No, I learned before him.
Okay.
But I remember being nervous about, will he like my food? And I actually called my pastor. And I'm like, oh my gosh, right? Because I came from, I didn't like cooking. I was in a previous marriage before, and my previous husband, he did all the cooking. And so I decided I wanted to learn how to cook. But when I met my amazing husband today, I remember he was tasting my first food. So although I had a cooking video, that was pretty much for me to really just tackle my fear of cooking. So, but when it was time for this man to taste exactly my food, I called my pastor up.
You have to pray over
and I said, oh my gosh, pastor, what if he doesn't like my food, right? Because you always hear a way to a man's heart is his stomach. And my pastor was like, whatever you cook, he will love it. And that was all my pastor needed to say to me. Because, a lot of times we put these standards on ourselves, but if you cook something with love, and if you believe that person, when they're eating it, they will love it, that's all it takes, really. It could be mashed potatoes, right? Yeah. It could be you burnt the chicken or whatever the case may be. But if you serve the plate with love, and you have that love coming from your eyes, your man is going to love it because he loves you.
Did you know this, Jonathan?
No, I didn't.
She was nervous. Although you were excited about her cooking, she was nervous about it. So you all have been together you've been married for how many years total?
9 years.
9, is that right?
That's correct. Listen, let me tell you, my husband knows details, and I don't even try to know how many years we've been married. I'm thankful for every minute, every day, every hour. But I also enjoy, because I'm a very detailed person, I love when he knows exactly how many years, how many days, how many minutes. I just love it.
He's like, I got this, babe.
Yes.
It's been 9 years.
Yes.
So Friday nights now, after 9 years of being together, what do they look like? What did they look like before, and what do they look like now, and how do you all enjoy the Friday nights together?
Friday nights were always date night. We go out at least twice a month on Friday nights. Every other Friday, maybe we would stay home for dinner and a movie. But we always try to get out as often as possible to relieve stress, just to get away.
Yeah.
But since the pandemic, it's just even more comfortable now. We stay home, we Uber eat in, or the wife will cook. Or sometimes I'll cook on the grill as well. But
yes.
I used to see you all posted where you all were eating out, and I would always save the location. I'm like, well, they know where all the hot spots are.
Yes.
So I'm going to save this location, because you were giving all these places 5-star ratings and 5-star reviews all the time.
Yes. And we're more intentional about it. I think when we first married, we were just enjoying each other. We were glad to be out. We were glad to be in. But 7 years into the marriage, you have to be intentional about it. So we're very intentional and protective about our Friday nights. And we don't take them for granted. I think there's one time that we couldn't spend quality time right? Because of his business, and it was a Friday night, and I think I lost my mind, right? So, and he couldn't figure it out. And for me, it's like, wait a minute, that's my time. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that it means just that much for me, that when it becomes an outlier, that if it shakes me up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point did you feel that shift where it became like, we need this time together? Because there could be the point where y'all are both entrepreneurs, mm-hmm. so your time is being pulled in so many directions.
Yes.
But then it's a matter of obviously putting the relationship first. Was there a point where you said, we're missing this, we need it, or was it always kind of a priority?
I think it was always a priority. Yeah, it was something we've always done. Prior to getting married, getting engaged, we always made a point to spend time together.
And that is true. I watch a lot of reality shows, right? So I've seen where successful women fail in their marriages. So to me, my point came when I became extremely busy, doing a lot of research, doing a lot of this, running 3 businesses, being a mom, all of that, liking who I am as a person. And I just said, ooh, check in. Mm-hmm. Check in to make sure this man, you're being the wife you needed to be. That's or good. Need to be. So I do my whole, which he's probably unaware of, it's like my whole check-ins. Just because, I want to say watching the reality shows, I know the devil can creep in at any moment, even any corner. So
with the doors cracked.
Yes. So I'm very intentional about sealing that. Like saying, okay, we're sealed here. Am I checked right here? And I will ask, I will say, hey, what's happening? Or I will kick up my love making or kick up the cooking. It's just like I devote so much time and everything else, I give it to my husband as well.
Yeah, so you're not letting anything get stagnant or stable. Right. You're always paying attention to it. I mean, you're in business, so yes. There's quality control and continuous improvement, right?
Yes,
those are our
exactly.
business terms.
Yes.
And so that applies to marriage and to relationships that you want to evolve over time.
Yes.
So that's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
The couple's stories are meant to inspire and spark dialogue on how faith bonds our romantic relationships. We engage in open, candid discussions on boundaries, love, faith, prayer in marriage, the importance of true friendship, commitment, and what women and men really want from a significant other. We laughed, cried, and then it got real as we talked through what it takes to ride the highs and lows of a Christ-centered marriage.